Breaking news now at 5 a.m. Hurricane Ian weakens to a tropical storm overnight after smashing into Florida. Millions are waking up with no power, flooding, and severe damage. And Ian is now moving up the coast, affecting other states.
Some disturbing allegations against two men working with children at a well-known soccer club in the Denver metro. The support for victims and advice for parents talking to your kids about potentially dangerous adults.
And a Colorado school district tackling two birds with one stone. The program at Boulder Valley to teach students some real-world skills, that is, and put a roof over Coloradans' heads.
As part of school.
In the near future, as part of school, Real world schools.
Right.
Yes, no, we need those skills in our schools.
We
absolutely.
Do. Yeah. Well, good Thursday morning to you. I'm Brian Sanders.
And I'm Nicole Brady. Lisa, you and I have been talking about our jumbled words today.
It's clearly a Thursday.
And it's only 5 a.m.
We're almost there to Friday. A beautiful start to our day. We're looking at early on some 50s, even a few 60s. Things are going to warm up pretty fast today. Upper 70s, near 80 by about noon. We have another afternoon of low to mid 80s, almost a little more summer-like than fall-like at times, well above normal. We're typically mid to upper 70s, and we're talking 90s for parts of southeastern Colorado. 60s, 70s, and through the central mountains. Now, there will be a better chance for some thunderstorms and a few showers in the mountains today, and you'll see that here on Futurecast. Slight chance that we would see one or two of these roll east over the plains and over the metro area late day today, but really the big picture is going to stay pretty dry. A better chance of seeing some wet roads here in town, it looks like, starting tomorrow, late day Friday, and then again on Saturday. I'll show you what all of that looks like on the Super 7 Day coming up.
Oh, what a better drive we have right now on 470 than yesterday evening. We're at a horrific wreck over here by Alameda. Right now, you're looking at a good drive, not seeing any problems coming from I-70 over down Morrison or right by Red Rocks. It looks good for us right now. Take a look at the drive. That was over in this section of town right in here. We're looking at a good drive for the most part. Still lingering road work as you take a look from the camera back here by Pena Boulevard. Still see some of the brake lights coming on for the westbounders. Not as bad as it was before, where I was seeing tail lights all the way back here. Some slower and go traffic. So it's starting to ease up. Only about 2 or 3 additional minutes out there on that east side of town. Westbound, still some overnight road work as well, coming off of I-25 over to Pecos. We saw that the last couple of days. Hopefully it won't linger like we've seen the last couple of days late into the rush hour. Tour from the airport looks fine, but the security wait time at one of the security lines is about 25 minutes.
Well, our breaking news this morning, Ian was just downgraded to a tropical storm, but millions of people are still in harm's way. This is a live picture from Jacksonville Beach on Florida's east coast right now. Obviously still heavy winds and surf out there. Ian is pushing past Orlando. It will move into the Atlantic today and up the coastline along the Gulf Coast of Georgia and Florida, the Carolinas rather, is where it's moving today. Meanwhile, this is what they're waking up to in places like Fort Myers along the Gulf Coast. Impassable roads, tons of debris and trees toppled, and several streets were under feet of water yesterday.
Yeah, we haven't even seen the worst of the damage yet. We'll wait for daylight for that. One of the biggest problems, though, right now is in southwestern Florida. A section of the bridge to Sanibel Island has fallen. Access to the island is now blocked except by boat. Fire and EMS service evacuated Tuesday night. We're also hearing stories of some pretty impressive rescues. This is Naples, where firefighters broke out a window of a woman's car and were able to get her out to safety. CNN's Ivan Rodriguez is in Punta Gorda taking stock of the damage.
We are waking up in Punta Gorda to complete darkness and destruction. We've been without power and water since Hurricane Ian made landfall yesterday, and we were beginning to see now some of the damage that's left behind. We're seeing toppled trees all over the roads, and here to my left, a trailer that was dragged by those heavy winds. We're also learning that Hurricane Ian has now become a tropical storm.
Holy, how is this possible?
Tied as the fourth most powerful hurricane to hit the Sunshine State, Ian blasted ashore Wednesday just shy of a Category 5 storm, bringing with it catastrophic winds, life-threatening flooding, and torrential rain.
The parking garage that we're still in right now with no power, is it was buckling, it was shaking.
As daylight emerges, residents will get their first glimpse at the scope of the damage. Many residents trapped in their homes where they chose to ride out the storm.
The Caloosahatchee River has flowed through the bottom floor of this house, and we're safe on the second floor.
More than 2.5 million residents were told to evacuate before the storm. Those who didn't will have to wait.
We will get to them as soon as we can, as soon as the winds die down, the water subsides, and the roads are cleared.
And as Ian continues its destructive march across Florida, the Orlando area and parts of the East Coast are getting pummeled with that rain and wind.
We were already expecting about 12 to 20 inches of rain. Some places could see up to 30 inches. So stay home, stay safe.
The storm is still expected to produce heavy rain and strong winds across Florida, Georgia, and the Carolinas over the next 3 days. Now, the city of Punta Gorda's water system is empty, and a water boil advisory is now in effect for residents who do want to get some water. The city is offering a fill station at the city's water plant system. They're saying once damaged pipes are repaired, the system will be restarted. In Punta Gorda, I'm Ivan Rodriguez.
And you could see Ivan there reporting in the dark. Utility workers from Xcel are sending a large team to Florida to help restore power to more than 2 million people who lost electricity overnight. 270 workers are now on their way, including some from Colorado and New Mexico.
The storm, as we mentioned, is slowly moving up the East Coast. In states like Virginia even, there are already state of emergency orders in effect. North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia are all bracing for heavy rain. Ian's outer bands are already affecting Georgia. Remnants of Hurricane Ian are expected to hit the North Carolina-Virginia border by this weekend and then head out to sea by Tuesday. Even Washington, D.C. and Maryland are expected to get several inches of rain.
Back here at home, 2 Colorado Youth Soccer Club employees are now behind bars, arrested weeks apart for the same crime. Arapahoe County Sheriff's deputies first arrested 63-year-old Howard Bud Harper on August 10th, accusing him of sharing child pornography on the messaging app Kik. At the time, he was an age coordinator for Real Colorado Soccer Club and had also worked as a coach. Deputies have now arrested another employee of the same soccer club, 54-year-old Alberto Lemus Viers. He's accused of sharing child porn on Facebook. In both cases, though, the deputy sheriff says the content did not contain any soccer club players. Despite both men working for the same soccer club, Sheriff Bartman says it is just a coincidence. A spokesperson for Real Colorado told Denver 7 the men's arrest had nothing to do with its program. Both are suspended, but again, right now, investigators do not believe any soccer club members were involved. Meanwhile, if you are a victim or know someone who is, contact the sheriff's office at the number on your screen. For parents, it can be impossible to know the background of everyone your child comes into contact with, but we do want to bring you some advice out there from RAINN, the nation's largest anti-sexual violence organization, says the most important thing you can do as a parent is to keep an open line of communication with your kids. That can be the key to knowing if your child has any reservation or is hearing rumors about a person in a position of trust. It's also important to encourage your child to speak up and know their boundaries. If you or anyone you know needs to talk with a mental health professional, call Colorado Crisis Services at the number right there on your screen. You can also text the word TALK to 38255.
Well, for years as an education reporter, I've covered the movement to get students more skills, career skills specifically, while they're still in high school. Meanwhile, for years, we've also covered an affordable housing crisis in Colorado. I found out Boulder Valley Schools is doing something to address both those needs. Plans are in motion to build a factory on the campus of Boulder Technical Education Center and bring home construction indoors.
It starts simple enough.
I really like the saw.
Learning the equipment.
This is called a lathe. I do not know how to spell it.
But with every new skill and project, students at Boulder Tech are gaining experience for a career.
So why are you interested in construction?
I would like to be a general contractor out of high school.
These students are already earning OSHA certification and college credit while in high school.
It's a great situation that a lot of students are taking advantage of.
But future Boulder Tech students will be able to add something even bigger to their resumes, a whole house.
Our Boulder Tech students will be able to partner with Habitat for Humanity here in the city and in creating modular units that will be set on site in the north part of Boulder.
Modular construction is a growing industry. The city of Boulder sees the potential for it to address an affordable housing crisis.
Boulder's been experiencing this challenge for the past half century, basically.
The city bought the Ponderosa Mobile Home Park in North Boulder and hopes the modular homes students build can eventually replace aging mobile units. You'd never know these homes were built in a factory. And with modular construction, new units can be placed on a site in a matter of weeks rather than the years it can take to build 70 homes the traditional way.
One of the things that we hear all the time from the students is that they want the opportunity to give back. They want to see the impact of what they're doing and the positive impacts on the community.
Of course, they still have to build the factory. The hope is that will be done by 2024, giving future students real-world experience in a world where housing has become one of our most pressing needs.
And the district and city of Boulder are still finalizing an agreement to annex the site where the modular home factory will be built. There's a community meeting tonight for neighbors to learn more about that project. Lisa.
We are now at just about 5:12, looking at a little mix of sun and clouds here across the plains this morning. It's going to be a pretty start to our Thursday. More rain, more showers expected in the mountains later today. And then tomorrow, we're going to see a better chance for some of that wet weather here in town. I'll take you through the rest of this Futurecast. Plus, we'll have a look at your full weekend forecast. It's Friday Eve. Let's talk weekend coming up in a few minutes.
Let's do it. Right now, we have a good drive going on here this Thursday morning. Not seeing any problems for us on the 6th Avenue Drive. This is the traffic on the eastbound side. So you see it's a little bit more heavy for us, or at least not super heavy, obviously. Making your way to I-25, speed still in the 60s. Not much happening out to the west side of town. We'll take a look at all those travel times for you coming up.
Hip hop, I hip it to the hip hip hop. You don't stop the rock to the bang bang boogie.
Yeah, it's not too early to jam out this morning. You probably recognize this iconic woman from the Wedding Singer movie. We have a look at this woman here trying to be the next to take on the title of Rapping Granny.